Good morning, welcome to day 86 of my Munros challenge. Been a bit of a nightmare today. I am not actually walking the route I intended to walk. Lots and lots of things have gone wrong this morning. Not least, I couldn't get to the entry to the Munros that I was after. So, change of plan, very last minute. I'm going to do route number 128, which is Bidean and Stob Coire Sgreamhach. Apologise for my Gaelic. I haven't researched this walk really, so I don't even know what the translations are. Very last minute. Get 2 Munros in. I'll show you the start. It looks very steep. Straight up that corrie. There we go, and I think I'm going to return somewhere that way. So there you go. So you can see the car park on the roadside. There are lots of little car parks going up Glencoe. We've got a little wooden bridge here to cross, and the route takes us straight up there. It's very intimidating. Stan's watching a herd of deer down there. Have you seen him? You wouldn't have thought they were this close to the road. Well, there's the famous Glencoe road. We're cutting up here very quickly. It's quite a well walked path, a bit of erosion control going on, keeping everybody straight. Wow, so we're gaining height quickly. This path is already erosion control put in, so it's keeping you straight, makes progress quick, doesn't it, Stan? Hey? So the lump you can see in front of you isn't the top, that's Stob Coire Sgreamhach, and the top's beyond there. You follow the ridge to get up to the top. That's 1,115 metres high ahead, but the top's 1,150, so it's another 45 metres higher. Let's quickly pan around and see how much height we've gained very quickly. A couple of car parks on the main road. So we're walking up Coire Sgreamhach, and the plan is to follow the burn. We're going to cut over the burn and hang a right under Stob Coire Sgreamhach, skirt right the way around the back, and then we'll summit from the other side before we continue to the Munros. That's the plan. There we go, we've got another view of the Sgreamhach ridge. As I said yesterday, that one's July the 15th. 2 days before Ben Lomond, which is my last one, July the 17th. Well, look at that. It rained all night. It rained really heavily last night. So that's fantastic, that. What a view. Wow. So this is where I turn right. So just turning right here, I'm going to skirt round. Wow, look at that. We've still made our height from the car park. So we turn right and we're cutting round this very steep gully, heading up this way, and we'll continue to the right before we make our way to the top. We're going to continue up to that shoulder there and follow the ridge line round to the summit. But remember, that's not the Munros. This cairn here signifies a left turn to go and head around the back of the summit over there. Wow, look at that view. So that's Invercoe. It's where I'm based at the minute. Awesome. And Glencoe. We're scrambling up here now. It's very rocky, very boulder fieldery. I do believe we might be getting a view of the top over there, of the real top. Need to get over this this last few bits of boulder and see what we can see. Wow, well there she blows. That's the first view of the top, Bidean. Wow, awesome. Oh, an awesome looking mountain, very rugged up here, very rocky. So this is the climb up to Stob Coire Sgreamhach. Very steep again, very rocky. Now we've got to climb this to drop down to that Bidean over there before we can make the ascent up to the Munros. So we've no choice really, it's far too dangerous skating around the side. There we go. So Stob Coire Sgreamhach. Took some doing, so we dropped down here and then final ascent up to the summit. There's a second Munros over there. Wow. Yeah, so up to the top, we'll drop down the second Munros, then we've got to drop back on ourselves back to the Bidean, and then we'll follow the burn back down. Wow, that looks extremely steep. I've just been watching a chap climbing over a rock over there. I hope Stan's going to be alright. I'm sure he will. Be alright, won't you, Stan? Hey? Yes, I can confirm. Extremely rocky, extremely steep. Here we are. Bidean Nam Ban. Apologies for my Gaelic. That was steep. I think Stan found it easier than I did. Very rocky, very scrambly, very steep. As you're climbing up, hint, I found it a lot easier on the left hand side. I had the benefit of watching a couple of people ahead of me, and one chap hung right and really struggled. The other chap stayed on the left and he seemed to fly up. So there you go. Right, so we've got to drop down to the next Bidean. Very rugged up here. Just a quick look at where we've come from before we head back down. So we're heading this way now. Looking back up, following this ridge line. Very, very rocky ridge. You can see the Bidean over there that we dropped to earlier. Very difficult footing. So we're almost at the Bidean. Now there's a cairn there telling me that that's the return route home. Now I can see a footpath going down the glen down there. Now I do believe that's also known as the hidden or the secret valley or the secret glen. I might be wrong, but somebody was looking for it earlier today and asking me, and I said I've no idea where it is. And now I've seen that, I think that's the secret glen. Correct me if I'm wrong. Yeah, here we're at the Bidean. These cairns are telling me to go down, and that's the path blocked by snow. That's going to be fun when we get here. So anyway, we've got to climb this Munros yet. Up and down, so back to this point. Let's get on with it. Fortunately, this side isn't as brutal as the other side was, giving your legs a little bit of a respite. But I have to say, the descent looks extremely steep on the way back. So here we are, Stob Coire Sgreamhach. Wow, that was a little bit easier than that one there. In fact, it was easier than its neighbour as well. Oh, still rocky and still rugged. These views, absolutely awesome. So we're almost at the Bidean, the point at the bottom of it. There's a cairn there, and that's what we're going to have to drop down. It looks extremely steep. And eventually we'll pick up that track running down the valley I pointed out earlier. In fact, you can see the road in the very, very distance. That was the snow blocking the gully. But there is a bypass path dropping down the side here, but it really steep. That was amazing. That was so steep. I've just come down all this scree, and I've just stumbled across a path, a little bit of erosion control, so it might be a little bit easier here on in. We'll see. Not sure if you can capture the gradient or the enormity of what I've just come down. Very interesting, let's say. So that's a pretty picture, isn't it? So we're nearly at the end of the steep bit, I'd say, and we're going to follow that path, which hopefully isn't as bad. Yeah, this path is a bit better, a bit less steep anyway. I'm just looking at the rain. I'm hoping it's going to cease. It's just started raining quite heavily a minute ago. It looks like it's easing off. Wow, look at that then, looking back. That's Stob Coire Sgreamhach there. First Munros hidden. That was a huge descent, very tricky. Then we've got people with their shoes and socks off in this little river crossing. And, speaking to various people, it was a secret valley or hidden valley that I think it's advertised from one of the laybys. So we've got a small river crossing. It's probably made worse with all the rain we've had. I can see why it's such an attraction. It's quite fun actually, lots of boulders and rocks to climb over and round whilst getting down here. So I would imagine people would have a lot of fun doing that from the roadside as a day out. So there we go, first view of the car and the road. Trust me to be in the furthest car park. Hi, welcome to day 86 of my Munro challenge. Today is Thursday the 19th of May and I walked route number 128 eventually. Now I parked in the big lay-by on Glencoe underneath the huge mountains. I did intend walking a very different route, 3 Munros, all sorts of problems this morning before I set off. And then when I eventually got there, I couldn't get to where I wanted to be. There was gates suggesting that they didn't want any dogs at all. Big sign saying no dogs at all. And I couldn't get to the car park, which I found on the OS map. So I'm going to have to rework a different route for them Munros. So I fell back on this one, and I've done no research, so I've had to wing it a little bit. So the first Munro was Bian, which is the peak of the animal pelts. And I have to say it was an absolutely awesome mountain, but I think it's wrong for me to say all, but a huge amount of the work and effort is about going up Stob Coire Sgreamhach, which I guess is the peak of the Coire with a lock or small lock, because that is what takes the time. It's extremely tough to get to. It's also very high. Probably another contender for what should be a Munro, I'm sure. Massive boulder field at the top, huge boulder field, very tough. Very tough mountain. And you drop off of that down to Bilac, and then you're faced with an extraordinarily steep ascent up Bidean. A little bit of scrambling. I was watching a couple of guys ahead of me who were walking separately. Now one had taken a route further right than another, and it appeared to me that the chap on the left was making far better headway, so I chose a route up the left hand side, and it did seem to work well. So at the top of Bidean, wow, what a fabulous peak. All the hard work getting there was worth it, and it was hard, no two ways about it. Very, very difficult peak to get to. Not a long way, but very, very tough going, very tough going. So from there, I actually found a little recess in the rocks at the top and had a sandwich with Stan. From there, we then followed the very, very rugged ridge all the way down to the next Bilac. And I have to say, Stob Coire Sgreamhach, which translates to Peak of the Horrible Coire, came quite easy compared to the other, comparatively easy, let's say, compared to the other two that you've just been over, albeit one wasn't a Munro. Yeah, not too difficult at all. Apparently it's only just been reinstated as Munro status, or on the last round anyway. Then you drop back to the Bilac, and then you start the drop down the extremely steep Coire. Now apparently it's Peak of the Horrible Coire. maybe they've gone down it as well, because it's very, very steep, very screey, very slippy, and it goes on and on and on for quite a long way, all the way down to the hidden valley. And all of a sudden you're in this hidden valley. You meet a myriad of people, because apparently it's quite famous, this valley, and there's a route to it from the various laybys on the A82. So lots of people were up there having a look around. And I have to say, it was a lot of fun getting down, because there's various boulders to scramble over and streams to cross, which wasn't quite in spate, but people were having difficulty. It's a very, very, very rugged footpath. So I can see why people would actually spend some time to get up to the hidden valley, because that in itself is quite a thing to do. Absolutely awesome day. For such a short day, it is absolutely cram-packed with fun and difficulty. 9.5 miles, 4,211 feet of ascent, and it took me 7 hours.